this story, and good morning to you. This is a can of worms.
It is. Watch out for the lightning bolts that are sure to strike us, Savannah. This is a mystery. Who wrote it, when, and why? All those questions are still unanswered. But a Harvard professor says she knows what it says. On this scrap of papyrus, ancient Egypt's forerunner to paper, are the explosive words, Jesus said to them, my wife. The discovery made by Dr. Karen King.
Here you can see what looks to be in English like an I and a C with just a little bit of a line over them. This is a shortened form of the name Jesus, Jesus.
King is a historian at Harvard Divinity School specializing in early Christianity. The owner, a private anonymous collector who brought it to King last year for translation.
When I first saw this fragment, it was actually through a photograph. And I couldn't believe it. Once we finally came to the decision that it said, Jesus said to them, my wife, it was really an astonishing moment.
King turned to New York University's Roger Bagnall to authenticate it.
He knew that it was potentially a blockbuster. And that was why the stakes were high in figuring out when it might come from, where it might come from, was it real?
The fragment, 1.5 inches by 3, is written in the Coptic language. It contains 8 broken lines and controversy.
Any reference to Jesus having a wife would have been seen as deeply offensive by most Christians.
The discovery will be featured in an hour-long special on the Smithsonian Channel September 30th. Dr. King insists the words, written in the 4th century long after Jesus died, do not prove Jesus was married.
It's not evidence for us historically that Jesus had a wife. It's quite clear evidence, in fact, that some Christians, probably in the second half of the 2nd century, that's between about 150 and 200 AD, thought that Jesus had a wife.
Now, King says early Christians argued over whether it was better or not to marry. And it wasn't until more than a century after Jesus' death that they began to use his marital status to support their positions. You can bet this discovery will do the same today all around the country.
And get a conversation going for sure. But she doesn't